Barnes, kind of a little space theme for you in the first part of Celebrity Sleaze. Let's start with this trailer that just came out, Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling. Now, the trailer explains that the sun is dying and Ryland, a former scientist turned middle school teacher, might be the government's only hope in understanding why, of course, played by Ryan Gosling. Check it out.
I honestly thought this was going to be a football movie.
You did?
Whoops.
Project Hail Mary.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma. I'm several light years from my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us.
The sun is dying.
You are the only scientist who might know what this says.
I'm just a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
I need you to come with us. This is Project Hail Mary. The sun is not the only star dying. Every star was infected by its neighbor, except one.
Why?
We don't know.
Which is why we built a ship to go there and find out.
Who on earth is going to sign up for this?
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct.
You'll find a solution.
You are my solution.
I put the not an astronaut. I've never done anything. I've never done a spacewalk. I can't even moonwalk.
Barnes, he has a background in molecular biology.
I mean, that's a big deal.
But guess what?
What?
This movie, already being promoted, is not coming out until March 20th, 2026.
Oh, okay, so they're doing the F1 plan. Look at the success that movie is having, and they did
huge success.
They do this new drip campaign. They start like a year early.
Yes, and I've got another in the same theme for you. This is called Begonia, starring Emma Stone, love her, Jesse Plemons, Stavros Halkias, Aidan Delbris, and Alicia Silverstone. Only in theaters, October. Two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap a high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying planet Earth.
It all starts with something magnificent. A flower, then a honeybee. The workers gather pollen for the queen.
Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, Michelle.
But the bees, they're dying. And that's the way they planned it. To make us the same as the bees.
Let's go again.
But it is not in control anymore. We are.
How can you tell she's an alien?
Well, the signs are obvious. It all starts with something magnificent.
Damn, that's a spookster.
I mean, what is happening here with all this stuff? And now, to go along with the theme, it all makes sense, Barnes. Netflix is teaming up with NASA to bring live programming from NASA to Netflix later this summer. So with the addition of NASA Plus, you can look forward to rocket launches, astronaut spacewalks, mission coverage, live feeds from the International Space Station. Tell me that's not brilliant, Barnes.
That is. And the movie you just mentioned, a name is interesting there. Alicia Silverstone, who also just came out with a kind of an indie thriller, I believe. All of a sudden, she's making a big move. She hasn't been around in a while.
I have two more stories to go along with all of this. Did you know this week there's a huge anniversary of the release of Apollo 13? Turning 30 on Thursday.
It's been 30 years?
30 years. Remember the cast? Tom Hanks,
Damn.
Kevin Bacon, Bill Paxton, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris. 30. It's unbelievable. And there was another huge anniversary this week. This is also going to blow your mind. 40 years on Monday. Guess what the anniversary was?
40 years.
40th anniversary. 40th.
This is the Back to the Future?
Yes.
We mentioned that the other day. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah, I didn't realize that originally that Eric Stoltz was cast as Marty McFly before Michael J. Fox. Did you know that?
I think I did know that.
Barnes, I put a lot of work into this whole space-themed Celebrity Sleaze.
And you did a great job.
Thank you. Okay, Mission Impossible. Have not seen the new movie yet, but I will. But one of the actors in the movie, Haley Atwell, this is really fun. She was on with Fallon talking about seeing the movie, sitting next to Tom Cruise. Her French bulldog may have farted all over Tom Cruise. What?
He said, "Oh, I hear you have dogs. You should bring them over." And I thought, oh, well, that's quite a good test of character, because if a dog likes you, then you're a pretty solid guy, I think, right? They don't lie. No. So I brought them over, and they loved him. And they insisted on sitting on him for the duration of the movie. Now, anyone that has had or knows French bulldogs, you know that they are very potent farters. So we were watching it, and they were sitting on him, and they were farting on him the whole way through the movie.
Oh, my God.
I'm sat there, and I'm like, oh, my God. And I'm looking around. There's some other people who are kind of gagging. I'm like...
There are two French bulldogs just going for it.
Just going for it. And he's so discreet, and he's just, like, enjoying the movie and eating popcorn. And at one point, I just thought, I've got to say something. I'm so embarrassed.
Losing the tension, yeah.
And so there was a lull in the film, and I just turned to him at one point, and I went, sorry for all the tooting.
I know people with those dogs. That's a thing. It's pretty gross.
Can you imagine, though, all over Tom Cruise? You got to be mortified.
Some people are getting some joy out of that.
Barnes, I know you don't mind talking about sex in movies, but she went there. Dakota Johnson was on that Good Hang podcast with Amy Poehler. Here she is, just for you, Barnes, breaking down a sex scene in movies.
So a sex scene.
Hold on, I gotta get this down.
You're gonna take notes?
I'm gonna take notes. Go ahead.
When
Dakota.
two actors pretend
right
that they're having sex.
Yeah.
And you do all the things except have sex.
Right. And that's important for people to know.
Make sounds like you're having sex.
Right.
And you're not.
And so she then goes on to talk about, for the first time, working with an intimacy coordinator.
I've always just done the simulated sex scene. But now with the intimacy coordinator was like, do you want a Pilates ball between you guys for the thrusting movement?
Just to get some core workout in.
And I was like, what? But then we're going to be so far away from each other.
Right.
And we didn't end up using that. But a lot of it also is there are times when I've done a sex scene where I'm by myself because I'm only in the frame. So I'm just gyrating on my own and
looking
moaning.
at a tennis ball off camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or slamming myself into a headboard.
Who knew you hump a Pilates ball?
That was interesting. So now, of course, they all are bringing in the intimacy coordinators, of course.
Well, I guess the angle wouldn't seem like there was a huge, inflated ball between you and the person, but that just seems really strange.
But how about she says she does scenes by herself, and she's gyrating by herself?
Wow. Good job.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Why? Because you're not playing me.
With rapid fire takes.
And a lot to get to, and I'm not sure you're going to like all of it. Honestly, I don't even care if you like all of it or not. I have a job to do.
Scorching debates.
On any given week, you have lots to beef about. Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
She's not my fault. We will get to all of that.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
Get up in here, and we'll beef later on. What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
You've been warned.
Hey, Barnes, you can't call it a comeback. Lisa Kudrow's HBO comedy is set for a third and final season 2 decades after it premiered and nearly 11 years after its most recent installment. The Comeback is making another comeback. HBO announced a third and final season. Here's a little promo that it's kind of annoying, that she did for The Comeback.
This is the last one, all right? Last time. Never doing this again. Well, I've got a new show. How's that? And I'm so excited about it.
Could you just be more excited?
I've got a new show. How's that? How's that? How's that? And I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, just one more.
I said this was the last time, and that was the last time, right? That was the last. Well, I've got a new show. How's that? And I'm so excited about it.
I think you need to say more about what the show is.
Jane, I said this was the last time, and that was the last time. Okay, you know what? I'm not fooling around anymore.
Should I turn the camera off?
No, I'm pretty sure she'll come back.
I know what I'm doing. I'm a grown-up now.
It's pretty much Phoebe. Doesn't it feel like...
Yeah, it did.
And it doesn't work without the rest of the cast. That's very strange.
I've never seen that show, so maybe I'll check it out. Bert Kreischer, the shirtless comedian. He's had 5 stand-up specials for Netflix. Guess what, Barnes? Now he's got his own sitcom.
I know because I auditioned for it.
I
auditioned for it, and I'm praying to little sweet baby Jesus.
Okay, he's going to play the title role, co-creator of Free Bert, a 6-episode comedy Yeah, he's Mr. Party Legend. He finds himself in unfamiliar territory when his daughters are accepted at an elite private school in Beverly Hills. When his antics turn the family into outcasts, he decides to finally put on a shirt and kind of stifle his true self in order to fit in.
Man, just to meet him would be just so awesome in person. I know we've had him on our show, but we haven't met him in person. That would be so cool to work with him.
Will you keep me posted, Mr. Barnes?
Well, I can't keep you posted because they say don't talk about it. But I just talked about it, but...
All right.
You know.
Okay. More on that Good Hang podcast with Amy Poehler. Dakota Johnson shares this voicemail she got from the one and only Sandra Bullock. It seems like they're in the same club.
Recently, I actually exchanged texts. Well, I got a voice note from Sandra Bullock.
Wow.
I know, because I don't know if you know, but I won the Razzie for Worst Actress.
Oh my God, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Congrats.
Thank
That's
you.
a really good, there's a lot of good people that have won that.
Thank you so much.
What did you win it for?
This really good movie called Madame Web.
Oh my God, yes.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
And did you accept the Razzie?
Oh yeah. I asked if they'd send it to me.
That's incredible.
But Sandra Bullock sent me a voice note being like, I heard you are in the Razzie Club and we should have brunch. We should have a monthly brunch. Because I guess she won that when the year that she won the Oscar as well.
Are you kidding me?
It was in the same year, I think. But I freaked out getting this message from her because she's so iconic.
Yes.
That is funny, winning a Razzie and an Oscar in the same year. There's a trivia item.
Mariska Hargitay is out there a lot right now because she directed this documentary called My Mom Jane, covering a lot of ground about her mom, actress Jane Mansfield's life, and about Hargitay's attempt to reconnect with the memory of her mother. It's on HBO. It just launched last week. Anyway, she was just on Call Her Daddy, talking about how many auditions that she had to do before getting on SVU, and also about going to a psychic.
I used to go to New York twice a year. I was 34, and a friend of mine said, oh my gosh, Mariska, you have to go to the psychic on Long Island. I didn't even know where Long Island was. So I drive out to this guy's house. He gives me a psychic reading. And because my mom was famous, you are just probably going to Google me and, from Jay Mansfield's daughter and then come up with some bullshit. So I sit down with this guy. We're talking. He says some things and he goes, you see that face? I said, yeah. He goes, you're going to be famous for that serious face. And I said, no, I'm going to be a comedian. And he says, I don't give a rat's ass what you think. You're going to be famous for that face. And then he says to me, and you're moving to New York. And I said, no, I live in LA. This is my town. What am I going to do with my house? 6 months later, I got SVU.
Is that happenstance? How does that happen?
I don't know. She don't told that story, though.
That's wild.
That is your Celebrity Sleaze.
Hello, my loves. It's Lala Kent. Yes, that Lala. And if you're not listening to the Give Them Lala podcast, here's what you're missing out on.
I stayed with my two kids. Mom and Kristen shared a room, and you and Landon shared a room. What the hell is going on? A lesbian couple, a gay couple, and then this
random woman with two kids.
So weird, but to me, it's the most common thing. This is my brother, his best friend, and my mom and her best friend. This is just how we roll. This is called The Pod, okay?
Give Them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.